Welcome into the Blue Heat Nation podcast. I am Rob Pearson, your host, and I am joined by Coach Ricky Woods of Demopolis High School Fighting Tigers. And Coach, welcome in again. We got a week off last week, and following the first two games, of course, just sort of in hindsight, Coach, let's sort of recap. Not that you want to, but Mountain Brook and Jackson, but we learned a lot, I'm sure.
We got better between Mountain Brook than Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
We thought we would. We just really didn't. A lot of things went wrong early against Mountain Brook because they got a really good team,
mm-hmm.
and but they're not even near as talented as Jackson was. Jackson was a very talented team, and speed kills you. Once they break it, we have nobody to catch them. But they had a really good team, and actually we got better from Mountain Brook till Jackson. I thought we played better at Jackson, even though the score that represented. And I'm just sort of proud to get in our district now, so it will be our matchups will be a lot better at this point.
I don't want to dwell on it, but I think it's worth asking the question because you've seen a lot of high school football, and a lot of high school football players who've gone on to play in the NFL. Right. Where do those athletes rank? I mean, that quarterback and running back combo for Jackson.
Yeah, well,
you just
not
don't
only
see
that,
many high school.
their defense was really, really good. They had a lot of D1 guys on defense. So they were surrounded by a bunch of them, but. The quarterback and the running back, they're just sort of special for any level. The running back is really, really good, and so is the quarterback. And, they'll make an impact in, the SEC or anywhere they go. If they doesn't get hurt or injuries or, they keep working hard and stay focused, they got a chance to play the running back, especially on the next level. He can play, he make it to the league,
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of good running backs out there, but I think he's ranked number 3rd in the nation. I think he's probably right with him too.
Yeah,
he's really good.
He was different, I thought.
Yeah, he was a difference maker. When you look at those guys that you say they're college players, and there's a difference between college players and Division I players and SEC players. He's an SEC player, and so is a quarterback. Those guys make. Then you got those guys that you look at for the first time. I know. First time I saw AJ, I was at a scrimmage. I was going to take the job. And they had finished up the spring with a scrimmage. I missed the spring with them too. But and I didn't even know AJ was on the team actually. When I'd been out of state. The first snap of the ball, they threw it to him, and I told my wife, I said, "That guy right there can play."
Talking about AJ Brown.
Yeah. And I wasn't wrong.
You were not wrong.
It doesn't take long. You see a real player. You got D1 players, and you got those others that are next level players. And this guy running back probably can be a next level player.
We had Bibb County brought a team that had center Ben Jones, and then the running back that all of a sudden his name escapes me, but they both played in the league, and we beat them strangely.
Yeah.
But you don't see it very often. Jameis Winston came and played in this field as a junior at Hueytown. And they're different. I mean, you just can tell it.
Oh, yeah. They're just a difference maker. They just make things look easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, back on the Tigers, the last week was a week off, and you had Labor Day thrown in there. So somewhat of a light week, but I feel like you probably feel like you got a lot accomplished and a lot of film work done.
We practiced really hard last week. We practiced about, the weather got us one day, and of course we didn't practice Monday, but the days we practiced Tuesday, we went about 2.5, 3 hours, and we didn't get all we wanted in the day we had to go home. I think it was Wednesday, and then again we practiced Thursday about 2.5 hours, and then we scrimmaged Friday. So we pressed to sort of get us better next week. We needed a week off, and we need to just install a few more things and get better at blocking and tackling, and we're continuing that this week. And then you'll get into where. When we get in the district, we'll cut back a little bit of practice to about 2 hours on Monday and Tuesday, about an hour and 45 minutes on Wednesday, and walk through on Thursday. That's where you sort of want to get. But I don't know. The kids have practiced well, and I think we've had a good week. And we'll be better this Friday, than we've been the whole time. And like I say, we get in our region, and we've looked at several of them. First of all, we got to Montevallo will be the first team we play, and so we've got a game plan ready. I think the kids are excited to get in the region play, and I know I am, and just try to get a win under our belt. You know, it always makes you feel better if you win.
It does.
So Friday night I think it'll be I've never been to Montevallo, but I'll be going Friday, so we'll see how it turns out.
I believe, and I can research this. This may be the first time Demopolis High School has ever been to Montevallo to play the Bulldogs on their field.
Yeah.
They just moved up from 4A to 5A last year, and so the second year in 5A, and gosh, they haven't scored in the last 2 games. I know you know that, but have the players engaged the film study and all the things they need to do to prepare?
We send home, and then of course we script plays toward Jim and us, and prepare them to get what they're gonna have, and I think they're really excited about it. I've never been to. I have been to Montevallo, the college there. I went there one time with my aunt. She was just showing us. She lives in Birmingham, so that's the only time I've ever been to Montevallo. But I had heard of it. So, but I just think that in the district, it just starts the real season to a degree, because that's the ones that's going to count towards the state playoffs, and they are all the most important ones. You want to win them all, but they're by far the most important ones.
We had some guys banged up against Jackson. I know 2 that didn't play. How are we health wise?
Well, Carlos is going back. Got to go back and get checked with his shoulder and get an evaluation on it. He's had an MRI and he's had X-rays. And he's supposed to meet the doctor, and hopefully he can get cleared. He's been working without pads, and he is a lot better, but until he gets cleared from the doctor, of course, he can't have any contact. He's been able to run, and he's been catching the ball. So hopefully, he'll get back pretty soon. So he'll help us too. So anyway, we got some bumps and bruises, but besides that, we'll be fine.
I always like to ask, especially after the first 2 games, in evaluating the attitude and resiliency of your team, how they respond. Are there been leaders that stepped up?
They've been fine. I mean, they know they played 2 really great teams. I mean, but no secret. I mean, they're pretty smart guys. I mean, I think everybody knows we played 2 great teams. When you really get down, especially as coaches and players, it's just when you lose a game you should have won. Now that's the ones you don't want to. That's when you start getting down a little bit. But you go into those guys and play those kind of caliber teams, and if you're gonna get something good out of it when you make it through it. It tells a lot about your team. But morale is high. I mean, they understand, and like I say again, if you get beat by a team that shouldn't beat you now, that's a little different story.
Sure.
It just affects you a little bit.
You've had a little bit of time last week, and obviously this week to continue your installs, not just preparing for Montevallo, but it's also trying to get your offense.
Try to get the offense in. Usually, like I said before, if you come in usually in January. I've had come in 2 places late, but never this late. I've had the summer, but if usually you change jobs, you change your Christmas, and you nowadays it's not like it used to be. You can lift weights and go on the field. You can work all year long. So you have all of this in actually when August gets here, and you play 7-on-7 all summer and have everything done. We personnel groups. We got a 10 personnel in now, and we got 11 personnel. Our best set is 12 personnel, but and just trying to get to a point that. Down and distance situation, your personnel group give you the best chance to make first downs and touchdowns.
The quarterback, Jackson, JW got the majority of the work, and then JP worked at wide receiver. Is that still the plan?
Yes, it's still the plan.
That's sort of simplified practice, probably.
Well, it does, and JP is a really, really good receiver, and he adds to us when he gets out there, and he's a good quarterback. But when you put him and Fred out there, then you got 2 pretty good receivers at that point. And then, of course, we steal from the defense just a little bit, but Fred's on defense. But it's working out. And the thing about it is, for JP running split end, he hadn't never really played split end before, but he can run, he can score. So he's getting the majority of reps this week at 2 weeks at split end. You'll get him fundamentally sound, let him know what to do. So, and JW's getting the majority of reps at quarterback, and that's sort of where we are right now. I think it's best for our team. If we get the best players on the field, and even to 2 different spots.
Because you've got 2 really good defenders that play wide receiver split end.
Yeah.
Tucker Catsby, the other one, who
Tucker,
probably led the team in tackles, if I had to guess.
Yeah, he works at Z, and when Fred rests, we usually put JW at X. He's learning X and Z. So I mean JP, excuse me. JP, he's going to play both those spots where Tucker comes in and he goes to Z, and JP will go to split end. So we call it the X, but. It's just they have to learn. You just, you're talking about, really 5A ball. We're not talking about a lot of people in school. I think it's 600 people. You get those schools that's got, 1,500. You get one way players, and you get your depth one way. So here we have to teach people, like Carlos is going to learn some that we call little Y. At the receiver spot. Everybody's sort of having to learn a couple of spots in the skill spot. And even your lineman, if something happens to Connor, we got to move Foster in the center, and he has to learn 2 spots. So it's not. If you get, I coached in 2A for a while. You played 16 players, and it really gets difficult now. Now we play about 20. So every time you play more players, it gets easier. And when those bigger schools, you're looking at having 28 to 35 players, and that can play. So.
But that makes a player like Caleb Branch so valuable.
Yeah.
Because how many different positions can Caleb play?
Yeah. Well, no.
It has to play sometimes,
right? But and you got to. These guys have got to be smart enough to do it. You got to figure out who's going. Can learn all this, because the game's changed over the years since I've been coaching. It's just when I was in high school, we run the veer and read it, but and that was a big change from it used to be, and now you got the RPOs. And another thing, when we practiced our spread, well, it helps our defense tremendously, because you just have to work against the spread to get good at defending the spread. Mm-hmm. So I think it's helped us defensively as much as it is offensively at defending the spread, because you can't run a scout team and really run a spread, so you got to know it. So that's helped us on both sides of the ball. I know Coach Luke, but I tell you, I think that I really think what we really improved more than anywhere is defensively this week. I think we've gotten a lot better. I think this week, I told Coach Luke yesterday's practice and defense was the best one we've had. We looked like a defense yesterday. Our D-backs are coming down. They're getting the reads and making tackles at the line of scrimmage, and we slanting because we are small. We don't have those big old bruising guys y'all had last year. Mm-hmm. You had Hammer and the other young man that went to Georgia, Southern, and we don't have that size anymore, so we have to slant a little bit. But we're definitely getting better. People are knowing what to do, and Bryce played this year, and he's really helping us side linebacker tremendously now.
I'm glad you mentioned defense. I did see Coach Luke Turco earlier today, and he made the same statement you just made. He's really pleased with the week of preparation that defense has had. What has been? I mean, are they just lining up better? I mean, what's been the secret?
Well, just we had more time to work with them too, and we've been so focused on offense, and because we didn't have much install, so. Mm-hmm. Now they got equal time, so they just get better. Yeah, and just more reps at what they're doing.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah. The more it's all about reps now. I mean, it's just you can go on the board all you want to and show film study, but it's all about reps. You got to get out there and do it.
Yeah. Well, Friday is another long trip for us. I guess it's about an hour and 45 minutes to Montevallo. So, what's the schedule look like Friday? You got it all mapped out?
Oh yeah, we eat pregame. They get out. At 2:10 as always, we'll eat pre-game. We'll come over here and load the bus, and we'll leave. And then they'll have sandwiches on the way to play the game. We get sandwiches on the way back, so it's pretty easy. It was mapped out before I got here, so we just keep on doing what they've been doing.
As my old coach used to say, we saw the lights and decided to stop and play football.
Yeah, we hadn't changed anything for it, so the organization of the program, how they travel. So the assistant coach has been really good about that because they know how it works. Everybody has a system, and this system's been good a long time, so we're not trying to change it,
Yeah. The quarterback club does so much for you.
Oh, yeah. That's tremendous. It's a tremendous support here for Demopolis. This is a really good community. My wife and I talked. She went to yoga this morning. She met some friends, and she's having a good time. So anyway,
well, good.
It's a good.
I didn't know we had yoga.
Yeah, she'll find it. She found all these stores in town too.
Her and Lane Kiffin.
Yeah,
they're all. Well, Coach, both Mississippi teams had a big win this weekend.
Oh yeah,
and both Alabama teams won this weekend.
I was because people ask me who I'm for. I just for if I got kids playing on a team, I got one at Ole Miss this year, and I'll be for Ole Miss. Once it's state, I'll be for state when they play. But I just worry about Demopolis. I really don't get into college football. I never have. But I did enjoy, I graduated state. Both my boys went to medical school, so they graduated at Ole Miss, and they big Ole Miss fans. But I was proud of both of them. But, I told JP that route that state runs, we actually run. We call it 87 switch. And, I told him he needed to look at it because that's how, we do that too. And we didn't have that end of this week. Yeah. It's one we'd been working for, and they get him on that safety, and he just outrun him. But,
did it surprise you that they were running man right there, just straight man on the trips?
The thing about it is everybody knows their team, some people say, everybody knows their personnel, what they're the best at, how they can cover. So, I don't ever fault them because I don't know what the personality of the team or who they feel like if they can cover a man better or zone
they
better.
guessed wrong.
Yeah.
I'll tell you
but
that.
he finally got on that safety with that pass when it was good. But, that was a big win for state because, they when they get in the SEC, they struggle because of the size factor, I know the kids love the money, and I guess it helps a lot of ways, but it sure has changed football because if you hadn't got much money, you're not going to be real good. If you got a lot of money and you can recruit, you're going to be real good, So I don't know. I think one day they'll put a cap on it like the NFL where if you can get it where they still make money and the schools can be equaled out where they give them so much that they could raise, but you know what I'm talking about. Then it comes back to recruiting again.
Well, you then you're talking about a collective bargaining agreement like you have in the NFL.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
And then you have sort of the players get unionized and all that kind of stuff, which is probably needs to happen.
Well, if you say, let's say they give them, a school can give them, let's say $15 million, because I think, a lot of these teams are spending more than that.
That's right.
But, you just see who could raise. And you take the SEC, where they cut it to a certain amount that's probably all could raise, and it goes back to recruiting again,
That's going to be difficult, Coach.
Yeah. It may be.
We'll play in our next podcast around talking about a collective bargaining agreement for college players.
I got a lot of friends coaching college football, and they really don't like this. They never know what you're going to have every year.
Yeah.
They just go with the win.
And it's easy to just move from Mississippi State to Ole Miss and back and forth. It
was just more of a school atmosphere, a team concept when they just when they went, they just stayed,
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm all for making money, but, it's just, it's sort of out of control to a degree, probably.
I'm like you. I think that, how can you tell a college athlete that they can't make money when you can tell a college IT person that they can go out and get a job and make $1 million? Right. I mean,
but the schools is going to have to regulate what they're going to let be spent. They still can probably do that now. I mean, just say this is the rule. I mean, you can spend this much, and they still can get a lot of money.
Yeah, sure.
And then I think if they transfer, they should stay out a year, and that would slow down the transfers too. Like it used to be. So
that's right.
There's got to be some obligation to the school too now. I mean, without the school there, they're not going to be playing football, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I always said, even when I was coaching, that the dog needs to wag the tail don't wag the dog. The school's still the main focus.
Under the current structure where you don't have a minor league football program like minor league baseball.
Yeah. You know,
So-
it's just, and you know, if they want to do something, they can go out after their sophomore year. Let them do it. You know, if they decide to jump out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's up to
mean,
the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, it's up to the NFL. If they want to let them go after the sophomore year, let them go. But I don't know. It's just, it's like the Wild Wild West now.
Yes.
You know, it's just, I'd like to see it more. You know, you got your Alabama fans, your state fans, but you know, a certain amount of loyalty's got to be.
But
with
Coach,
the school too.
it's you think, well, this is off topic. It's really not though, because that is trickling into high schools.
Oh,
and the legislators are having to deal with NIL in high schools. They have it in Georgia, I believe, and so it's a matter of time.
It'll get to where some of these great athletes won't play their senior year.
Sure.
They just wait to make sure they don't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just. I mean, it's just sort of went out of control. You know.
Yeah. Well, I do. There's a certain amount of it I fear. The out of control part's what you fear, and because the High School Athletic Association's task was keeping fair play and consistent rules and that kind of thing, and it becomes difficult when you put money in the middle of it.
Well, just it's going to get to where and it's happening everywhere. People are moving in high school just to play here and there, and it's just different. Hey, look, this is my 43rd season. I'm glad I'm glad that I'm at the end because it was totally different when I started. You didn't have to fool with none of this,
You sound like Coach Saban.
Yeah, don't have to. You never fool with any of it. And but anyway, Demopolis is a good town. It's a football town, and it is they got a school spirit here, and that's important too. And I don't think you're going to lose players moving, not many from anywhere, just being recruited out because I don't see why. It's a great place to go to school and a great place to live and a great place to play,
Even in a changing, I firmly believe this, in college and high school, even in a changing environment, somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. The team with the most support typically is the one that's going to win. And you'll see Friday night.
Yeah.
Our fans travel, Coach, and you'll see a big crowd on the visitor sideline.
And it's the school's just a miniature community.
That's right.
That's all it is. And the school, I think, represents the community well, and the communities, it's like me and my wife have talked. This is really a nice town. I mean, it's just there's a lot of good people in it. Just I hadn't met a lot of them, but she's gonna meet a lot of them, I promise you. But anyway, it's just you can just tell when people are genuinely nice. Just good old Southern people. Yep. You can't beat it.
The old saying here is, if you wear out a pair of blue jeans, you won't want to leave.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it is a good town. I know I had a coaching friend of mine in Mississippi called me the other day, and he had talked, and he's asked me about the community. And I told him it's a great community. I said the kids are good. I said it's a great place for people to grow up. I told the kids here yesterday, and them talking, and I said y'all very fortunate to be born in a place and raised right here, because y'all all like to hunt, you like to fish, you got the river, and got a good school. It just makes it easier for the parents when they got them something to do besides just find something bad to do.
Scream it louder for the folks in the back so they can hear.
That's right.
Coach Ricky Woods, thank you again for your time, and we'll see you Friday night over at Montevallo. Game time 7:00, and of course we'll be on there at 6:30 on 98.5 Dixie Country. So we look forward to seeing you over there and getting ready for Montevallo.
I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Blue Heat, everybody.